And here's the part no one tells you. Feeling lost isn't random. It's not bad luck, and it's not because you haven't found yourself yet. It's a pattern, a silent drift that happens when your thoughts, your habits, and your environment start pulling in different directions. Quietly, slowly, until one day you wake up and nothing feels aligned anymore. You might look at your life and think, I should be doing better. You scroll, you compare, you question your choices. Careers feel empty. Relationships feel distant. Even your own mind feels unfamiliar. And the more you try to fix it, the more it seems like you're just circling the same place. That's not confusion. That's something deeper. Most people assume feeling lost means you need motivation, that you need a new goal, a new routine, a new version of yourself. But what if that's exactly what's keeping you stuck? What if the real problem isn't that you're lost, but that you've been following directions that were never yours to begin with? In this video, you're going to understand why this feeling doesn't just appear, it builds. You'll see the hidden psychological patterns that quietly disconnect you from your own direction, the subtle behaviors that reinforce that emptiness, and why the more you ignore them, the stronger they become. And more importantly, you'll start to recognize what's actually happening beneath the surface so you can stop drifting without knowing why. Because once you see it clearly, you can't unsee it. And that changes everything. Stay with me until the end of this video, because what you're about to realize might hit a little too close. But it might also explain why nothing has been clicking lately. You're not lost in the way you think. It's not like you woke up one day and suddenly had no direction. It's quieter than that. It builds over time, almost invisibly. It starts with small things, what you should be doing, where you should be by now, how your life is supposed to look at your age. You hear it from everywhere. Friends, family, social media, even random people online who look like they have everything figured out. And without noticing, you begin to adjust. Not in a dramatic way. You don't drop everything and become someone else overnight. It's more subtle. You choose the safer path instead of the one you actually wanted. You say yes when something feels off, just because it makes sense on paper. You tell yourself, this is what people do. This is what works. But here's where it gets complicated. The human brain is wired to seek approval. Studies in behavioral psychology show that social validation activates the same reward systems as things like food or money. So every time you align yourself with what others expect, you get this small internal reward. Feels right, feels like progress, until it doesn't. Because over time, those choices start stacking. And one day, you look at your life and something feels disconnected. Like you're following a script, but you don't remember agreeing to the role. You're moving, you're doing things, but there's no real sense of ownership behind it. It's like using a GPS that recalculates every time someone else speaks. You're still driving, but the destination keeps changing, and none of them actually belong to you. That's why you can be on track and still feel completely off. You see people hitting milestones, new jobs, relationships, achievements, and instead of feeling inspired, you feel this quiet pressure. Like you're falling behind in a race you didn't even sign up for. And the more you try to catch up, the more disconnected you feel. Here's the part most people never stop to question. What if the problem isn't that you're behind, but that you've been measuring yourself using someone else's timeline this entire time? Because when your direction is built on external expectations, clarity becomes impossible. You can't feel certain about a life that isn't fully yours. And no amount of discipline or motivation fixes that. That's why so many people keep pushing, keep grinding, keep trying to figure it out, and still feel stuck in the exact same place internally. They're not missing effort, they're missing alignment. And once that disconnect starts, it doesn't just stay in your career or your goals. It leaks into everything, your decisions, your relationships, even the way you see yourself. You start second-guessing things that used to feel natural. You hesitate more. You overthink more. You feel like you're constantly trying to get it right. But you don't even know what right means anymore. And without realizing it, you start filling your time with anything that keeps you from noticing that gap. Anything that gives you the illusion that you're still moving forward. But that's where things get even more subtle. Because what looks like progress on the surface can sometimes be the exact thing keeping you stuck underneath. Here's something that might feel uncomfortable to admit, but you need to hear it. You say you feel lost, But look at your day. You wake up and grab your phone. Just for a minute, right? Then suddenly it's 20. You scroll through people living their lives, building things, traveling, achieving, and without even noticing, your brain already feels behind before your day even starts. Then you move into doing mode. Work, tasks, responsibilities, notifications, messages, more scrolling in between. You're active. You're busy. From the outside, it looks like you're handling life. But if someone asked you, where is all of this actually leading? Would you have a clear answer? Probably not. And that's not because you're incapable. It's because your brain is playing defense, not offense. There's something most people don't realize. Your mind isn't designed to chase clarity. It's designed to avoid discomfort. And real clarity, it usually comes with uncomfortable questions. The kind you can't just brush off. Questions like, why doesn't any of this feel meaningful? Am I actually choosing this life? Or just continuing it? If I stopped everything right now, what would even be left? So instead of sitting with those questions, your brain does something smarter. It keeps you moving. Constant input, constant stimulation, constant noise. Because silence forces you to face things you've been avoiding. There's even research showing that people would rather experience mild discomfort than sit alone with their thoughts for too long. That's how strong this avoidance is. Not because people are weak, but because the mind is trying to protect you from uncertainty. But here's where it flips on you. The more you avoid those moments of stillness, the more disconnected you become. Days start blending together. You stay productive, but there's no real sense of direction underneath it. It's like running on a treadmill. Effort is there, movement is there, but you're not actually going anywhere. And over time, that creates a strange feeling. You're tired, but not from doing too much. You're drained, but not from anything specific. You're just off, like something in your life is slightly out of place, but you can't pinpoint what it is. So what do most people do? They double down. More content, more distractions, more goals, more things to fix the feeling. But that just feeds the loop. Because now you're not just avoiding the problem, you're burying it under layers of noise. And the longer that goes on, the harder it becomes to separate what you actually feel from everything you've been consuming. That's why even when you finally get a quiet moment, no phone, no noise, no distractions, it feels almost uncomfortable. Like your mind doesn't know what to do with the space. And that right there says more than most people realize. Because when being alone with your own thoughts starts to feel unfamiliar, it usually means you've been avoiding something important for a long time. Not on purpose, not consciously, but consistently. And once that pattern settles in, it doesn't just affect your focus or your productivity. It starts to change how you relate to yourself, and even how you show up around other people. Without you noticing, something deeper begins to shift. There's a moment that almost nobody notices, and that's exactly why it changes everything. It's not when your life falls apart. It's not when something dramatic happens. It's when you slowly stop checking in with yourself. Not your schedule, not your responsibilities, not what you should be doing. I mean you, what you actually feel, what actually matters to you, what feels right when there's no one around to impress, no expectations to meet, no noise to hide behind. And the scary part? Most people don't even realize when that disconnect starts. It usually begins in small, practical ways. You adapt to situations. At work, you become the version of yourself that fits the environment. Around certain people, you adjust your tone, your opinions, even your reactions. Online, you present a version that feels acceptable, relatable, or impressive. None of that is wrong on its own. It's part of being human. But over time, those versions start stacking. And instead of switching between them, you start losing track of what's underneath all of them. You stop asking yourself simple questions like, do I actually enjoy this? Or is this even important to me? Because you're too used to just continuing, reacting, adjusting, moving along with whatever's in front of you. And here's where it gets real. When you lose that internal reference point, everything starts to feel uncertain, even things that used to be obvious. You hesitate more. You overthink decisions that should be simple. You feel this weird pressure to get things right, but you don't even know what right is for you anymore. So you start looking outside for answers. You watch more content. You listen to more opinions. You try different routines, different mindsets, different approaches, hoping something clicks. But nothing sticks, because you're trying to build clarity on top of disconnection. It's like trying to tune a radio without knowing the station. You keep turning the dial, hearing noise, fragments, pieces of something, but never a clear signal. And after a while, that does something to you emotionally. You might still function. You go to work, you talk to people, you handle your responsibilities. From the outside, everything looks normal. But internally, there's this quiet distance, like you're slightly removed from your own life, like you're present, but not fully there. A lot of people describe it as feeling numb or empty, but it's not always that intense. Sometimes it's more subtle than that. It's more like nothing feels fully yours anymore. Even your wins don't hit the same. Even your free time feels off. Even moments that should feel good pass too quickly or feel strangely flat. And here's something important that doesn't get talked about enough. This isn't a personality trait. It's not just who you are. It's a pattern. And patterns can be reversed, but not by doing more, not by forcing motivation, and definitely not by copying what works for someone else. It starts with something much simpler and much harder at the same time. You have to rebuild the habit of actually noticing yourself again. Not in a big, dramatic way, just small, honest moments, like catching yourself midday and asking, "Why am I doing this right now?" Or noticing when something drains you instead of automatically pushing through it. Or realizing that some of your choices aren't coming from desire. They're coming from habit or expectation. Those moments might feel insignificant, but they're not. They're signals. And the more you start paying attention to them, the more something begins to shift. Slowly, quietly, but noticeably. Because the truth is, you were never completely lost. You were just disconnected long enough that it started to feel like that was your normal. So if you've been feeling lost, maybe this isn't about lacking direction. Maybe it's about losing connection with your own thoughts, your own signals, your own sense of what actually matters. Because when you think about it, most people don't suddenly find their path. They stop long enough to notice where they've been ignoring themselves. And that changes things. Not overnight. Not in some dramatic, life-flipping moment. But in small, real ways. You start questioning things you used to accept automatically. You become more aware of what drains you and what gives you energy. You stop chasing everything and start paying attention to what actually pulls you in. That's where clarity begins. Not from doing more, but from finally seeing what's been there the whole time. So instead of asking, "Why am I lost?" try asking something different. When was the last time I was truly honest with myself, without distraction, without pressure, without pretending? Because the answer to that question might be uncomfortable. But it's also where everything starts to shift. And once you reconnect with that, even slightly, life stops feeling like something you're trying to figure out and starts feeling like something you're actually living. If something in this video felt a little too accurate or even slightly uncomfortable, don't brush that off. That reaction matters more than it seems. In behavioral patterns, the things that hit a nerve usually aren't random. They're familiar. They point to habits you've been repeating so often, they started to feel normal. The way you make decisions, the emotions you push aside, the roles you slip into without thinking. None of that is accidental. It builds a pattern, quietly, consistently, and most of the time you're inside it without even realizing it. But the moment you start seeing that pattern clearly, something shifts. Your choices become less automatic. Your reactions slow down just enough for you to notice them. And little by little, you stop being pulled by things you never questioned before. That's why self-awareness isn't just thinking about yourself. It's something you use. It changes how you move, how you respond, how you decide. So when this video ends, don't just move on to the next thing like nothing happened. Take a second, not to focus on what sounded good, but on what actually stayed with you. The part that felt real. The part you almost wanted to skip past. Because that's where the shift begins. And the more you start noticing these patterns, the clearer everything gets. Your behavior, your decisions, even the direction your life is taking. This is just the surface. But once you start seeing it, you won't look at yourself the same way again. If this video made you see something differently, don't just scroll away. Take 1 second to lock it in. Subscribe now for more videos on human behavior, psychology, and self-awareness that actually help you understand how your mind works. Leave a like if this resonated with you. It tells the algorithm this content matters and helps it reach more people who need it. And I want to hear from you. Comment below the number that hit you the most. 1, 2, or 3. Which part felt the most real for you? Now don't stop here. Click the video on your screen. That's the next step to go deeper into how your behavior shapes your life. And if you want to keep building this awareness, check out the full playlist linked here. That's where everything starts to connect. If you made it all the way to the end, don't leave silently. Drop your number in the comments. That tells me you're not just watching. You're paying attention.